Welcome to the Rad DudeCast, the show where three normal dudes just bat around the pressing issues of the day or whatever the hell else they want to talk about. Today we've got a very special episode.
Hang on. We're not three normal dudes.
No, I know that, but you got to act like you can relate, you know?
Rude, crude boobs.
Yeah.
We're rude, crude boobs,
yeah.
And our level of talent is unrelatable. To the common man. And they should know that.
I think every write-up should say, those are a bunch of boobs.
Yeah.
Those boobs.
This is similar to how Frasier and Niles, they're not of the ordinary man.
No,
these are
not
people residing above.
Was there ever an explanation on that show? How did those two come from their dad? Did they go to a different school or what happened?
They're just a couple of ninnies raised by a cop. Their mom is actually a psychiatrist.
Where'd the English accent come from? Like, they were English. They were clearly English.
They don't have an English accent. They have a rich person accent.
Yeah.
There is a certain accent you get when you acquire a certain amount of money or read a certain amount of volumes of Kierkegaard. You begin to speak in such a different manner.
Niles, this is how much money I have. You just won the lottery. Go, I won the lottery. You just immediately I couldn't believe it.
Yes. Yeah. After your second sip of sherry, you begin to speak differently.
Now, as many of you know, Sunday night was what many are calling the interview of the century. Oprah Winfrey sat down with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry and Meghan. And boy, it was something. Now, what you don't know is this is now replacing that as the interview of the century, because the Rad DudeCast is taking on that interview, breaking it down, and I happen to be joined, luckily enough, by the world's foremost expert on exotic birds, as well as noted royal historian, Greg Stone. Greg, welcome to the program.
All right.
I mean,
yeah, so right now people are going, oh, fuck, I hope this isn't a character episode. It's like, no, we're just going to talk about the Royals.
Yeah.
This is a normal episode where we know each other. But Brendan is shaping the episode as if this is the interview about the interview of the century.
Right.
Interesting chime in from the man who you may know from his 11-book volume on the Franco-Prussian War, as well as
I can't get enough of that war,
as well as noted royal observer Anthony DeVito. Anthony, welcome to the Rad DudeCast, which you are the host of.
Looking around the palace. Yes, Brendan, which I am the host of, and I know you, and we're quite good friends.
Yes, I've never said otherwise, but I did want to. I will give you the details here. Greg and Anthony were able to watch. I did not watch the interview. I read as much transcripts and breakdowns as I could get my hands on. But
it seems like more work.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
before we even say this is a classic Brendan, I'm better than you move.
It's
I wasn't allowed to watch, but I'll tell you what I could get my hands on: the transcripts, because that's the guy I am.
Because I have a baby, and you people clearly don't know what it's like to have to raise a family. I was unable because I was up all night training a child. So instead, I got into the coding of CBS's mega computers, and I read it all in code. So it took me several more hours.
Yeah. Luckily, I still have my Guardian subscription, which is a UK newspaper, by the way. You two Jersey idiots.
It's a wonderful publication.
I have access to the screenplay.
Now, all of that is true. I did read it in binary code, as Greg said, and that's how I prefer to read. Ones and zeros, to me, I see them and they make sense. I see colors. I see numbers. Both of you guys, what was your takeaway from this thing? Let's start big and move small. What was your takeaway from this interview?
Anthony, I think you should start this up because I feel like you've got a lot of passion about the thing, and you're the one who made us watch it.
Yeah.
And what are your initial?
First of all, my first takeaway from this interview is Oprah is. I never really seen Oprah before. I mean, I've seen Oprah.
What?
Andy's never seen Oprah before.
Yeah.
No. Before I get gearing going here, I've seen Oprah. Obviously, I'm aware of Oprah. I've never seen Oprah really do her thing. Let me say this, man. She took them to the shot.
Yeah.
She took them to Chicago, man.
No holds bar, man. They were in a steel cage match.
Nowhere to run with Oprah. She is a beast. And
She won't run. She's too fat.
Oh, man.
No, come on.
Greg.
She's battled with that for years, man. That's not
a voluptuous, beautiful woman.
Yeah,
I don't
beautiful
care what you
woman.
say.
For her age, are you kidding me?
Be happy to be Stedman. And I like that she changes weight all the time. She's like Brendan.
Yeah. That's
y'all
what we
are
have
the
in
one
common.
Just a note, I said fat.
One of the many things you have in common.
Which I said fat, which is a fact. Y'all said unattractive and mean.
Okay.
Fat is beauty. When I say fat, that's beauty. Sometimes and that's why I still use PHAT as a phrase. I go, that's just fat. Why? Because it's beauty. But I don't find her attractive. But she is fat.
That's true. I don't know if you know this about Greg. He's not a rural man, but he spent a couple of years down at the fat farm.
Anthony, can I just say, you don't have to yes and when he just lies about us. We did not say she was unattractive and mean, and you
Good
just
point,
go
Brendan.
and you just go. That's true. That is true.
Y'all insinuated. I said she was fat, and you guys, whoa. Hurting Oprah, the mega billionaire's feelings. Look at that fat bitch. She's beautiful.
That's
beautiful.
And if you want to say that, that's
Talk
what
about the
I'll
pregnant
say.
woman.
That's my big takeaway from this: is money doesn't buy happiness.
Yeah,
No,
or a smaller head. That big head.
Man, you're wrong.
You're
wrong for this, man. You're wrong. You're wrong for this. Oprah's a beautiful woman. She's only do I subscribe to her magazine, I also get her calendar.
You get the Oprah calendar?
12 months ago.
In front of the fire trucks?
Every month, a different fruit. Yep. In front of the fire trucks. It's 2 different fruit holding in front of her privates. January, it's apples. February, it's strawberries. And that's how I know that's how you know what's in season. That month. By the fruit that she's holding in front of her. I don't want to be in front of a fire truck.
I don't want to be a crass kind of guy, but if you think a strawberry's covering Oprah's nipples, you're crazy.
Well, you got to see the size of these strawberries. These are GMO strawberries.
Oh yeah, good.
These are big boys.
They better be strawberry pancakes.
When I go into the grocery store,
this guy, you wrong, Greg. You make a couple of apologies.
When I go in the grocery store and I see non-GMO on something, I throw it in the fucking ground.
Absolutely.
I say, give me a GMO cow. That's what I want. I want a cow that can talk and has muscles.
I don't want to see the farm. I want to see the lab.
Yeah.
Dude, when I see GMO, I just go, because you know what GMO stands for? Greg, man, oh yeah. And I eat it.
Look at this self-centered lunatic.
So first she sits down with Meghan, Anthony. What was your takeaway on this Meghan?
Meghan. Okay. Well, I will say, first of all, I like Meghan. I think, now this is a real opinion. We'll get into more of the weeds of my funny, silly joke take things that I thought were interesting. But my thing with Meghan, first of all, man, she's a hottie boom balati.
Yeah. Super hot.
Second, $5 for a quarter, if you ever asked me.
Well, boy, and I'd like some change, sir.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You're the Prince of England. You're not the only Prince of England that ever married an ugly was that old Charles the second time around with that old Camilla Parker Bowles. That was totally a publicity move where he goes, Diana's dead. We killed her. That's a cover up. I got to marry an ugly woman. That's the only way out of this. You know what I mean? That's how people are going to say, maybe he didn't kill her because his next wife was really ugly. If you get a hot wife after that.
There's a thing about Camilla that everyone knows. The reason you're going to marry an ugly woman, because look at Charles and look at Charles's family. All he sees is ugly.
Sure.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So to him, ugly is just the crooked teeth and the skin falling off and the skinny bones father. Look at the red faced drunk Charles has become. He looks like Roger Stone. What happened to this guy?
He does.
Anyway.
You're right.
Yeah, right.
He looks like Roger Stone climbing Mount Everest.
It's so
that
funny.
Whipping wind that's got his face all red.
It's so funny
awards he did not win.
Hey, I was just going to say that. Mike has put up this picture of Charles and Camilla. The guy's got fucking 38 medals on his suit coat. And it's like, what are those for, Charles? Like going to look at an airplane at a naval base? And they were just like, great job, man. You really looked that thing over. You really sent the troops on their way. You're a general now.
This is my medal for finishing lunch, and this is for my medal for Mommy doesn't have to cut my food anymore. And here's my medal that I just bought. This is just one I bought. I bought anyway.
There are Boy Scouts with more valuable medals than the British family have pinned on them that have done more.
Yeah, and you get that shit for learning how to tie a knot.
Oh yeah,
you know, it's like they give you an award, but he was like, thanks for waking up this morning, a medal, Charles. Anyway, and ugly.
And another thing, going off what Greg said, going back to a point that you made in an earlier podcast, Brendan, is some of these. I think the British people are horses. I agree with you, Brendan. You brought that up, and the royal family.
That's why Oprah's British.
That she's American royalty. Don't she ain't. Man, you got to sit out, Greg. You disrespect our queen like that.
Right. Oprah.
My bad. Keep going. My bad. They look like horses.
They look like horses. So I think these people are half horse, 3/4 horse. They marry other They can't marry horses because that's illegal in our society. So they marry what's as closest to a horse as they can get.
You know what happened?
Charles is with Camilla. They're 2/4 horses.
Do you know what happened once? And
I'm screaming. I'm happy to scream.
Do you know what happened once? Because they do look so similar to horses, and they, the sport of the royals obviously is polo. One time, Prince Harry, his horse got on him because it was a mix-up. It was a mix-up, and they go, that's the man, that's the horse, and they just mixed it. Neither of them could tell apart. They had to play the whole match. Horse on his back.
They put that picture in the Sunday Star, and everyone just said, "What is this? It's just a man on a horse." And they went, "No, that's not even the horse. That's Charles that's getting ridden." And even the public couldn't tell.
Yeah. Why is this picture of 2 horses on the front page? Who cares? Yeah, and their names aren't even horse names. You know what I mean? The Duchess of Windsor. You couldn't see that. You couldn't see that horse trotting down Churchill Downs.
Yeah, their kid, Meghan and Harry, his middle name is Mountbatten.
Mountbatten, yes.
And it's like, if I didn't bet on that motherfucker over there at the Churchill Downs, then fuck me, because I think I put $10 on Mountbatten to place.
Yeah, my uncle lost a small fortune at the Meadowlands to Mountbatten.
I love they get names where they're like, "Oh, your name's Rick, but now you're in the family. You are now the Sumpter of Finn. You are known as the Sumpter of Finn. You were Rick Mangielli, but now you are the Koken of Dwindleland." It's like, wait, what? I thought even a real country.
Yeah. I was Dave.
Yeah, man. But I was trying to say that with the horse thing you were saying, right?
Yes.
This brings me back to my car dealer stuff. Well, let's get back to this, Mike, that you pulled this up. I'll be way too distracted but I do want to get back to
a beautiful pull, man. Yeah, we should.
But what I like to say is when I was in the car dealership, I went, "Hey, man, these are the features I want, right? I want power steering. I want the drivetrain. I want automatic seats, all that, right?" And they would go, "We don't have that, but we can get you in this model, which is basically that, but it's different." That is very much what happened with Charles and Camilla. Charles said, "I'd like a horse." And they said, "Well, we can't give you a horse, but here's the closest thing we can get you to a horse, Camilla, unless you want Oprah." But she's kind of hard to get around because that is also a fucking horsey bitch.
I'll say Oprah's a horse of a different color because she's not a horse at all. She's a beautiful woman.
Beautiful woman.
You're lucky to get your hands on her filthy calendar.
Yeah. Beautiful woman. Beautiful.
You're getting freedom. You're getting freedom. I feel like that's what she was doing in the whole interview. You're getting freedom. You're getting freedom. Everyone's getting freedom.
How cool would that be if she said, "Look under your bench"? She gave them a couple cars. Cool. That would be so cool.
Or she even her own crown. You're in the Oprah of kingdom now.
Yeah, man. American royalty. Oprah, Tyler Perry, welcome.
Yes. Can we say for real quick, to me, and this is one thing I kind of picked up, is that like Oprah talking to them in her head, she's kind of like, "I'm more powerful than you." Right?
Totally.
Like,
yes.
She is with her. There is a thing. I don't know if you guys picked this up, but they kept referring to the institution. They'd be like, "The institution doesn't let us do this." The institutions would kind of manipulate the royal family.
Right.
But then they would kick to Oprah and she would go, "Oh, so when you're talking to the firm," she wouldn't call it the institution. She called it the firm, which led me to realize she has her own, and she is the institution. But in America, it's the firm. She kept being, yes, she's the head of the firm.
Oprah will buy the monarchy if she wanted to.
Oh,
I thought she was gonna when she was like, "What? they cared about this, the dark skinned baby. I'm gonna buy them. I'm gonna buy Buckingham Palace.
CBS
turn that into an Oprah museum.
I'm gonna put Chadwick Boseman's bones in the throne. Wakanda forever. That's who runs it. That's who runs this place now. That's right. I put his bones.
I think it'll become a movie theater on loop. The color purple.
CBS paid $7 million for that interview, and Harry and Meghan took nothing. So Oprah just got $7 million to do that, which is great. It's just like, and I mean, I think Harry and Meghan like probably said like, it looks bad if we get paid for this, but they could have asked for some of that money and gave it to charity instead of just like Oprah's production company. Yes, I'm friends with her. We're neighbors. $7 million. They're not doing this interview with anyone else.
You didn't see Meghan at the craft services table. She was stuffing cheese and crackers in her pockets like Archie's got to eat, just putting his many little granola bars, nature's Valley bars as she could.
I don't know if you know. I mean, Stedman only wears diamond suits or else he'll die. So she's got to keep that going.
Did you know Stedman eats her pussy every hour on the 15s? Did you know that?
Yeah,
that's why there's weird cuts in the interview.
Right,
she has to get up and then Stedman has to eat her pussy and then she gets back.
Well, that's how she charges up. Anyway, so you asked about what I think about Meghan Markle.
Yes.
Okay. I like Meghan Markle. I think that when she dipped into like these are my contrived answers that I have to do. It was super like cringeworthy. You know what I mean? When she's like, I'm not a duchess, I'm not a princess, I'm a mom. It was like that. I'm a Meghan. She might have said that. Yeah, I'm a Meghan. It was like those were answers where she was like, I have to hit these marks. And when she tried to hit those marks, it was terrible. But when she was just herself and like truthfully answering questions, I was like, I like her.
Yeah,
she's been through some real shit. She's going through it. She's being honest. I'm in. But she would try to hit those marks, and it was like, this is embarrassing.
Yeah, I felt there was some dishonesty.
Greg's got something to say too.
I know. I felt there was some dishonesty, like the whole thing about like I thought she was lying about how naive she was about the royal family, because it's like, come on, man, you're saying you didn't Google any, like she literally was like, I didn't know anything, like I didn't
Google Tina's parents. So what is that?
Yeah,
I don't know that Tita's parents are Googleable, Greg. No, he's not just right about that.
No,
it's two entirely different things.
A point's a point.
Google, it is a point that he didn't Google Tita's parents. Does it have anything to do with this? I'd say no.
I gotta know what I'm getting into here. Hang on a second.
Huh.
Yeah.
Nothing on a Wayne Cook on the internet. What do you know? I do. I think she got more honest as the interview went on. I think she started off with like, this is the character I need to present. And I think as the interview went on, she was like, I have to drop that facade and I'm just going to answer these questions.
Which she has to do, though. She has to kind of come a little prepared. And it is, I get it. I watched The Crown. I'm up on it.
I think she tried, but then I think Oprah got her, man. She did. Oprah's just got that ability, man. And but in the beginning, I thought it was an outright lie that she did not Google the prince, the would-be prince of England. She didn't think.
But I think she knew, but I don't think she realized how much like you aren't going to be able to go out on your own, that you're not going to have your license. Right. I'm sure there's a lot of that she didn't get.
I agree with you,
because The Crown wasn't out when they started dating.
True.
Right. And that's how we all know. Right. Can I make a mention of something, or do you guys have more on this?
Please, no, go ahead. Please. I have a lot more, but I
have a question for you, Greg. But please make a mention.
I want to go back to the Oprah thing. Is it like, I am really happy that $7 million that Oprah's interview did get out, because the Howard Stern one was way different. Okay, the Howard Stern interview.
Would you or would you not bang Mini Me?
Yeah.
Was that the Queen of England? Huh? What does she put in her pussy?
Yeah. Trim or no trim? What are we talking?
Those are some tits. Those are some tits, Meghan.
What is Meghan? Scale of 1 to prune juice. What does her snatch smell like?
Yeah.
Although Howard Stern, great interviewer now. I love that we're just doing morning drive Howard Stern.
80s, 90s Howard Stern. He's a much different guy.
Just going to be like Fart Man.
Fart Man.
Fart Man. That's so stupid and great. Anyway, Oprah, man. I don't know. She did make mention in the very beginning of the interview. They were like, we're not taking any money for this. We want you to know. Because I was like, why are you saying that? Then you realize with the interview, they're like, oh, everyone thinks they did all of this for money.
Yeah.
They think I didn't realize that. They thought they were just trying to build brand and leave the royal family for money. And I'm like, no, anyone with eyes who watched The Crown would realize, get the fuck out of there.
Right. That's my favorite, is like the take that a lot of people had that was just like, oh, boo-hoo. It's like, this woman is on national television telling the world that she was going to kill herself. Right. And everybody has like just no sympathy for that whatsoever. They're just like, but you're rich.
You were on Suits. What's the problem?
Exactly. Yeah. And if I was cast in a USA show, I'd never cry a tear in my life.
Now let me
absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Now let me play the devil's advocate here for a second. This is my
catch your breath. Let's go to a commercial.
I get worked up. Cut Stedman. Pussy time. Lick it up.
Stedman's dick on the 15s.
Playing the devil's advocate here, right? Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on? What do you guys think about accusations that Meghan is somewhat of a kind of a fame monger, and that she would not have had any interest in Harry whatsoever if he wasn't royalty? You know, what do you think of that? These are just things that are out there. I don't know how I feel. I don't know.
Go ahead, man, because you're talking to Team Markle right now with Greg and I. So, Greg, go ahead.
I'll take this real quick. If she wanted fame, there's much easier ways to go about it. As most Hollywood celebrities do, you just have a transgender surgery, right? She could have just easily jumped boat, became a man, and then get famous. What else did you want to do?
100% with Greg. She could have banged Screech. You know, like, there's all kinds of better ways.
So you think this is true love? What they've got,
man? You're gonna tell me you didn't? Well, because you read the coding, you didn't look Harry. You look at Harry's eyes. You go, I love this man. Well, everyone loves Harry.
He's a good guy right there.
Well, and Harry, to Harry's credit, man, you know, William is seen as the golden boy and all this shit. And, you know,
Harry, now that bald head of his.
Now that bald head and his stuck-up wife. And Harry got all that shit because as a kid, he was bad. He dressed up in the Nazi uniform, which, granted, that wasn't a great look.
Everybody's got a regretful Halloween costume.
And not only that, if you're in the royal family, you don't know. No one ever told you.
Right.
Hey man, that was don't do that. Like, you know,
honestly, he was like
your uncle, the abdicator.
I was gonna say, honestly, he's just dressing like Philip on a Saturday.
yeah. But the thing is, like, Harry legitimately served in Afghanistan, not some fucking like horseshit role. Like, he was on the ground in Afghanistan. They had to take him out because one of his fellow troops wrote home and was like, hey man, the prince is in my regiment, and that came out, and then they were like, all right, you're out because they're gonna come for you now. You're kind of a target. But
that's a kidnapping.
Kidnapping
101.
Yeah, he legitimately went to war, which is rare for a royal. Which to me, it's like, if your country's in war and you're the prince, like, you gotta go.
Dude, kidnapping 101 is look around you. Is anyone a prince or king? If they are, step 2, grab them. Okay? You can't be having that guy. Step 3, you don't see a king? Get to a king, right? You're cutting out all the steps, kidnapping 101 by having Harry on boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was dangerous for everyone in his regiment, you know?
Right.
Oh, I didn't even think of them.
Well, no, that was the point, is like they were like, he can't. His regiment now becomes a target, you know, like, because he's there. Yeah. But, you know, as to your kidnapping,
his regiment was like, we're going to kidnap him ourselves. Yeah. And become a terrorist organization.
Well, that's a Greg regiment.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's a Greg ass regiment.
We flip.
What kind of benefits does ISIS have? And how easy is it to join?
Yeah. Harry's been shot and killed. Maybe. I don't know. How much money do you have? What? Yeah, it's still blurry. We don't know. The medic's pretty good. He could probably clear the whole thing up, but you got like $7 million. I don't know.
Yeah, PayPal ready.
That's
I always want to kidnap someone and say PayPal ready.
Talk about kidnap 101. That's the royals are great. That one Saudi Arabian fella, he's kidnapped his daughters back from freedom about 8 times. And she's just it just came out about a couple of weeks ago, a leaked video of her being held hostage at her own house because they keep trying to escape to freedom. It's not great, but it's hard to ransom your own daughter. You go, we're going to need $10 million. I can't pay myself.
Insurance.
True.
Ask the insurance.
Yeah, insurance must be the way out of that.
If you bring up to an insurance company, what's your kidnapping? Like, do they look at you like, what? How much if I want to invest in case my kid's going to get kidnapped? And like, you work at an auto shop. Why is your kid going to get kidnapped? Hey, I just like to be covered.
Well, that's
you gotta send in another guy with no kids. You know what I mean? To get the information for you, so they don't just assume it's you.
Right.
That's so wild. Like, because I know you're joking, but what a wild insurance companies have to deal with. Like normal people, it's like, okay, I need life, health, dental, vision. Yeah. But like, there's such crazy things insured in this world where it's like, you got to insure Tom Brady's arm. You got to insure a fucking ship from Somali pirates. You got to insure kidnapping insurance for a Uruguayan oil baron. Who deals with that? How do you do the odds on that?
I've had my essence insured, which is I'm always in fear that one day I'll become spoiled and become an egomaniac. And if I do, my insurance will pay to bring my essence back, which is
you've insured your ego.
Yes. Yeah. I'm afraid if I get famous. Yeah. Ego insured. Right.
Geico.
That's my bread and money. No one would ever want to make money from an egomaniac Greg. No one likes that guy. So as soon as that becomes, I gotta cash in my insurance check. What's this? Is this
Mike? What do you got here? What do you got here? I can't.
It's Abraham Lincoln. It looks like an Abraham Lincoln cosplayer about to beat up a waiter. I don't know what this picture is.
Mike.
He does look upset about his chicken.
Oh, that's the guy who.
Go ahead. Sorry,
that's the fellow that keeps kidnapping his own kids. The Dubai ruler.
Yeah, seems like it. Guy dressed like that. You never look at this guy and go, he's up to good stuff.
That is literally attending a ladies' day parade.
Probably rounding him up.
Yeah.
Look how mad he is. It literally looks like the guy is literally telling him now, we know your kid wasn't kidnapped. And he's like, what do you mean? He's a frowny fella.
He looks like he's like, oh, you think you'll give my daughter freedom, Mr. Bond?
Yeah. He looks like the hotel concierge just went, well, I'm sorry, all our rooms are booked. And he's going, do you know who I am?
Yeah.
I'm the ruler of Dubai. And I bet those hotels just go like, how many countries we have here, man? Dubai, not even high up, dude. Get to an England or a Switzerland. So how's Dubai doing? Does anyone know?
Very rich, very rich.
Still, I've heard they're like very poor and also very rich at the same time.
Well, yes, that's many of those oil countries are. The average citizen is not rich. There's great wealth disparity, whereas the royal families or the ruling class has taken all of the oil money, and the other people aren't necessarily that well off. But I do have 2 questions for both of you that I'm interested in.
Can I just say one more thing on Dubai before we move on?
You can say 100 things on
Please,
Dubai.
I'm so interested to know everything you might about Dubai.
Yeah.
I always thought about Dubai. What I would do is they have such these high rich people, right? The rich people live in the high buildings, right?
Sure,
so I think that all the rich people live in the high buildings, right? And then you let all of the poor people live in the lower ends, right?
Sure.
And then what you do is you just build a floor to the lowest level, like to the middle, and then all the rich people can live on the floor, and then you've kind of just built all of the poor people to live underground. And I think that's like a real fun way. You see what I'm saying there?
Yes, I do. So what you're saying is throughout the entire country of Dubai, build a platform about midway down the highest building that basically blocking out the sky from the poor people, and then that becomes the ground for the rich people. They're going, I'm on the ground, and they're going, you're actually not on the ground. You're on rich ground. You're on the ground is covered. It is dark and dank and fucked up. Don't go down there.
Yeah, I do like this character, Greg Stone, radical urban planner.
Yeah, man, I would trademark the sun.
Also, that would go down like, look,
I don't know what it means.
We contacted as many architectural firms as we could. Turns out the country's too big. It's just not possible. Poor people, you have to live in the sewer. It's the only way to make our dream of a floor with rich people above it come true. We wanted to do a platform. It was too big. You're in the sewers.
See, and the move is this. Once you've blocked out the sun, you start selling poor people vitamin D pills, and you're making the vitamin D pills, right? So now not only did you take their sun, their only way of getting vitamin D is through you.
Man, what a strange plot to a sci-fi movie. That's a vitamin D pill placed, a vitamin D deficiency based sci-fi movie. What stakes?
Everyone's fighting for the pills.
You basically described a life in Portland, but then one company has access to vitamin D pills. Oh man, it's great.
Okay, so I have two questions I'd like both of your input on. Obviously, a big blockbuster from the interview was that there was concerned discussion as to what, by a senior royal, is how it was phrased, I believe, as to what Archie's skin tone would be. Now, Harry clarified, because right away, obviously, everyone goes, well, that was Philip, right? But Harry clarified that it was, that's just classic Philip.
Yeah,
like,
that's Philip. He's breaking balls.
Yeah. You don't have to vague that one. That's clearly Philip going, what color is old boy go come out? Yeah, that is not a royal accent. But
here we go, Greg. Get it.
Go ahead now. What color will the child be? I want the child to be maybe a brownish, a little maybe vomit.
Will the child be black like tar, white like snow?
Yeah.
Will it be a good child or an evil child?
So Harry clarified, it wasn't part of the interview, I think, but it came out this morning that he did clarify to Oprah that senior royal was neither Philip nor the Queen. So who does that leave? Who was saying that?
Elton
was it
John.
Charles?
I'd also like to argue that I don't want to jump to the race thing on this real quick, because this family is so incested that I can see Philip just being like, not race, just like, we've only ever fucked each other. Will this thing come out blue or lavender? What does another human look like?
Yeah.
That's a great point. They have this weird twisted world where they're concerned about a non-inbred baby. Normally you would be like, you can't bang your cousin because the baby's going to come out bright blue. But with them, they're like, will they have good teeth? What is that even like?
Will we save money on the third arm removal? You don't got to do it this time.
Yeah. How do you care for a baby that doesn't have anemia?
Right.
Is there a special diet or what's the situation there?
What if he comes out not half horse? What happens then if he doesn't strictly want to eat oats for breakfast?
I get him just like legitimately seeing Philip being like, well, I don't know. She's not all black and he's not all white. What color would this thing be? Inquiring mind, actually. What would this thing look like? I don't even understand it. What is this? Is this going to have silly weird hair? Or is it going to have thin hair? Is it going to be born bald? I'm Philip. I don't really understand a lot of things.
I love that phrasing. From Philip, inquiring mind, actually.
Philip brought in British scientists to be like, okay, explain a mulatto, and they had to try to like run down genetics.
So I think my guess is like when you there aren't that many senior members of the royal family, really. When there's obviously there's extended, there's a ton of family, but I think that was probably fucking Charles, man. That's who I think it was. Like, I think it was Charles. But
Philip bought him a basketball when Archie was born. He goes, "I bought him a basketball. Didn't he play it right?"
Yeah.
Oh, little LeBron James. He's gonna come out. He comes out. They've from my research, they have a fast twitch calf muscle that makes them jump higher. So
from my research, this child's like, I bought him a DVD collection of the show Rock. I think he'll like it.
Yes, I've gotten myself familiar with a barbershop series.
Yeah. We've added to the Royal Armory some Glock 9s. We thought the child would like a Glock 9. I listened to some NWA.
Yes. We've replaced the downstairs quarters with a working basketball court.
Is that child going to be Eddie Murphy? I just want to know if it's going to be is it going to actually just be Eddie Murphy? I don't know. I don't know how this works.
Now, another thing I wanted to ask of you guys, because this is what is very curious to me, because I don't quite believe it. I think the Queen is in charge and does tell these people how she wants things to be. Who, in your mind, when they refer to the institution, when they refer to the firm, who is that? What is that?
If you watch The Crown, you would know. I think it was Michael. I think his name was Michael, right? There was that guy on the he's like the guy, he's like the hand of the king, and he's like the fixer, he's like the Ray Donovan. Right. It's multiple people, but there's one guy who like heads them up, you know? It's a room full of people on typewriters constantly going, what's the top headline? What do I do? And then there's one guy who walks out and he goes, kill the child. We must kill the child.
Yes. And that is my understanding of it. And that's why it was so weird to me. They both were so defensive of the Queen. No, Mike. I don't think the firm and institution are nicknames directly for the royal family. It's the apparatus of the royal family.
Yeah.
It's the whole kind of organization of it, not necessarily the people. I know what you're saying, but
to Mike was saying, he's like, look, it is both, right? The institution is the royal family, but when you're in the royal family, the institution is the workers and is this group of fixers.
Right. So what was confusing to me, and I'd love to get your take on this, is like, so they were both so defensive of the Queen, but like, no, it's not the Queen, it's the institution, it's the firm. But it's like, dude, hate to break it to you guys, I think she's in charge of them. You know what I mean? Like, I think she's pulling the strings on those guys, right? Or are they just undermining her and running it? Are they running the whole fucking show, like without the royal family? Because from my understanding is those people work for the Queen, you know, like. Go ahead.
So I'm torn, right? Because part of me goes, we should know this off bat. Through the Crown, which is a show that isn't really based 100% on fact, the Queen does seem to be lightening up and understanding things a little bit more. One, but two, there's no way they can get away with shitting on the Queen. If they even made a comment that was like against the Queen, like that is going to bring on a world of shitstorm. But I do believe it's possible that the Queen is either good or, whatever. But I also know that I don't know that they're going to shit on the Queen. That being said, the institution is run by her, but also not in the way of like, they're like manipulators, they're going to be like, listen, understand that if you do this, the whole monarchy could fall apart. And then so the Queen is like, well, I can't do that because if we don't keep this going, then the country could fall. It's like, so it's like these smart people who are all in the ear and are all like doing the running. Right. So it's like, sure, the Queen, I guess if she really wanted to, could be like, I'm done with everything. But it's like, I don't know that she really can. It's weird.
And I think they probably know that. You know what I mean? Like how you have just like certain people, like I was kind of this way with my grandmother a little bit, where it's just like, she's going to always pick this over this. And that's, you kind of reconcile that with yourself about who she is. So you have these expectations of like, well, the Queen isn't going to abandon everything for our wants. And we're at peace with that. But there are other people who aren't in such a position who could abandon those ideals and wouldn't have a detrimental impact like hers would. Does that make sense?
Yeah. To exactly what you're saying. And Tina and I were saying this because we've been watching so much Sopranos. It's just like the mob, right? The mob is always like, it's the business first and then family. And that's how the Crown works. It's like, it's the Crown and then family. So it's like they have to look out for the crown first. Like
Right.
you can't do this shit you can't just leave the royal family without like major consequences. The same as you can't leave the Sopranos,
Right.
the mafia. I mean, the
Well,
mafia,
what I
New
think,
Jersey family.
what I the thing that's fucked up to me, and I do kind of think Meghan knew what she was getting into and wanted the limelight, and then it was a little more than she expected. And I think she was brutally treated by the British tabloids, and it was racist because I mean that they were there was literally a example of how Kate was eating avocados as a healthy pregnancy snack. And then when Meghan did it, they brought up how avocados contribute to deforestation. And it's like, well, that's racist. You're crazy. And then,
Right.
but like, I mean, they just pick and choose. It's fucked up. Like Diana and Meghan, they saw as outsiders. They did, and they never treated them properly. Because it's like, look at Prince Andrew. That motherfucker went on TV after the goddamn fact and said he still thinks Epstein's a pretty good guy. And then they asked him, like, so he went to his island a bunch of times, and they asked him dead on, like, so you didn't think anything weird was happening? And he goes, there are just so many people coming and going. And it's like, well, yeah, were some of them 14-year-old girls? I think that's pretty easy to remember, Andrew. He just goes, so many people come and go. How could I know? And it's like, yeah, the Epstein doesn't have a daughter, and some of them were 14-year-old girls. You'd think you would have marked that in your mind. He, after the fact, said he was a good guy, and nothing. They stuck up with him. They stuck by him, issued this really bland, tiny apology, and like, that's it. And Meghan did nothing, and she got no support. So they pick and choose, and I think they see her as an outsider, and it was fucked from the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, too, that Prince Andrew interview, wasn't he like sweating profusely during?
Yes,
he was sweating like you'd sweat if you were on a pedophile island. He was sweating away if you were hiding a friend who was clearly a pedophile and had a lot of dirt on you.
Yeah,
that's the amount. That's the exact. If you took all the sweat off his body and put it in a scale, the scale would read, "This is the weight of a man hiding a pedophile because he's got something on him."
Yeah.
That's exactly.
Oh man, that's so funny.
I'll say this about the monarchy. I'd like to talk about the monarchy for a second in general. It's what drives me, what is silly to me is that they first of all, they cling on to this monarchy, which is such an old technology, right? It's a king and it's bullshit, and they're clinging on. And the only reason they do any of this is because they're trying to hold on to this thing that's clearly dying. Well, my thing is, if you want to hold on to this old thing, you should also be forced. You shouldn't be allowed our new technologies. So if you want to live in the king world, well, then you don't get a cell phone. You don't get a cook. You got to walk around with a goat. You got to walk. You only ride on horses. You see what I'm saying here?
You just described Philip's afternoon. So
Yeah,
he's the only one going by the rules.
You want to be a king?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you don't get access to penicillin then.
I agree.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, there was, I think,
Daniel Day-Lewis.
there is this British love for the Queen, and the Queen, I think, has been a good queen and a good symbol of
This guy's paid
Britain.
off. You hear him? He's going after Meghan. The Queen is a good queen.
But here's the thing.
Got to you.
Here's the
The
thing,
institution got to you.
My man works for the Daily Mail.
For the most part, there have been times where there's been so much anti-royal sentiment, and I think that's going to come around again after this, because the facts of the matter are like, and they've distanced themselves from this a little bit financially, but like the facts of the matter are, like in the 80s when England was in a huge recession, people were furious, just like, yeah, I work fucking 80 hours a week. I'm dead broke, and my taxes pay for this piece of shit to ride a horse. Fuck you. Like, what are we doing? What is this? Like, and so they've taken less taxpayer money, I think, but it's still like, yeah, you're rich forever off the backs of the English people. Like, it's crazy.
Well, that's my favorite episode of The Crown, is that episode where it's like it's just like a bunch of British people just like eating chimney dust, and then like the Queen is in Kentucky, like, that's a fine mare.
What kind of sperm does this horse have? I'd like to use the greatest English technology to see what kind of sperm this horse has. But I want to make
Greg, go ahead. Yeah.
I just want to go back and make sure that I did not, in any of that sentence, hear Brendan denounce the monarchy. Why don't you denounce the monarchy?
Paid off.
I will. I think it's dumb. No, this is what I would say.
Denounce the queen.
I would say
stand back and stand down.
I would say go ahead. I would say go ahead. Keep doing it, but you're totally separate from the government. No money, nothing. Just go ahead and say you're the fucking queen. Right. Whatever. You're already rich beyond belief. You can keep going with this. It's fine. But enough of pretending you're part of the government. Just go that's how it is in a lot of those other countries. Like the princess of Monaco, she doesn't do shit. She's just a princess. Go ahead, call yourself whatever the fuck you want. Look, I'm King Ralph. Fuck you. Do whatever you want. Who cares?
Here's what Brendan said. He goes, the monarchy, Meghan and Harry. There's bad people on all sides.
Well, no, because
Rad DudeCast fans, if you're out there, what I want you to do is draw us up a picture of Brendan in his finest English outfit with a nice word bubble that says monarchy, stand down and stand by. That's our new t-shirt.
Well, no, I won't be positioned here as a monarchist because here's the thing, Harry. Oh, very convenient now to come out against it. You were loving it your whole life when you were getting free horses and having fine banquets.
Right, Harry's such
for
a
the
dick,
press.
Right?
He said that for the press, man. He said that. He said, he had a job to do. It's just like it's like all of us as comedians, no matter how sad you are, you come on stage, you smile, and you do your jokes. And you
I cry on stage.
Well, Greg is
well known.
Greg is the one anomaly where he cannot compartmentalize his emotions because they are bursting at the seams through his body.
That is 45 minutes of whimpering.
That is a very funny aspect of the royals. They all truly believe they're doing an important job. William really still thinks I've got to carry on for country. And it's like, nobody gives a shit if you go look at a school. Nobody cares, man. You're fucking worthless. You're not doing a job. Like us as comedians, that's a job. People are paying for tickets. Their job is to just walk around and check shit out.
Right.
Yeah.
Tita was telling me what I didn't realize was because they were like, they took away their security, which is like horrifying that they were like, we're stripping you of your title and also your security, which is kind of like, yeah, people can come kill you if they want, which people would want to do. But then they were kind of broke because a big thing is that they can't take like a lot of this money from outside things if you're part of it. But I was like, oh, Harry, and they admitted on the interview, they were like, oh no, we're doing great. But the reality is like, you could just go on Instagram, you'll be immediately verified, and you can do some Harry's razor ads and make $1 billion the next day. And I think they kind of admitted, like, well, yeah, we got a Netflix show coming, so we're all right.
Yeah, of course, yeah. They definitely had to make that clear. Like, I mean, we're ex-royal family poor.
Yeah,
it's not your everyday poor.
Here's the thing. Here's the
Still
thing.
living gods.
Yeah. Whatever you read in the press, like the royal family, they don't want a fucking poor kid out there in the world. You know what I mean? So it's like, yes, technically they can't take I'm sure they gave him a couple million out the door. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to have just a guy living on fucking next door to me. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. They like to, like, once they strip you, it's like they don't give a fuck. They love to watch these people suffer for turning on the crown.
I can't wait for sorry, Greg.
No, go ahead.
I can't wait for Archie's Teen Angst podcast, God Kill the Queen.
Because she's still alive, and I'm 40. I don't understand how she is still alive.
Yeah.
Vampire
or sperm.
Well, I thought was interesting is that things were so bad, like for Meghan, like race, like under such attacks of racism, things were so bad. She fled to the United States during Trump. You know what I mean? That's kind of amazing. Like that, it's like,
right?
Jesus, that's rough. Like we need a safe haven. We need a place on the brink of civil war.
What's also crazy to me is that she was literally being almost like held hostage. I wasn't allowed to leave the house for months. Breaks free, and then quarantine happens. She just goes freedom, and then Cuomo's like, "Get in the house, you dumb bitch."
Well, like England, it's so funny because we talk about like our race problems in this country, which are obviously horrible, and there's terrible inequality, and they need to be worked on. But it's like they chant the N-word at soccer games in England. You know, like we're doing okay compared to some other countries. You know what I mean? Like they are fucking racist in a lot of European countries. Like just flat out. Like in Italy, they throw bananas at the black players in soccer games, and it's like
they think they need potassium. I'll go to bat for that.
Sure, an egg on your face when that banana turns into a boomerang and hits you in the face. Those things are curved.
Yeah.
You throw a banana the wrong way, that thing's coming right back to you.
Yeah, man. They're simply trying to keep their players healthy. That's a misnomer. Can I say who I think one of the real winners for this was, understated winner, was SAG.
Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah, because Meghan kind of stated that because she was obviously an actor in Suits, and she was like, I was taken care of. I had all these things. And then she went to the British royal family and she wasn't anymore. Kind of subtly hinting at SAG's coverage is pretty good.
They've got good health insurance. Better than the royal families, which is letting you die in a closet.
Right. Yeah, royal family, worse than Cobra.
It's also crazy that like she was denied like mental health help by the royal family, because it's like, don't you motherfuckers act like you haven't had to have 37 top psychiatrists on call for 300. You're inbred up the fucking ass. You've had lunatics for years. Like
Philip just likes to handle it on his own. You go in the closet with Philip and he just tells you, get your head, stop talking crazy, you dumb crazy woman.
Just stare at an oil painting till it goes away.
Lick the filament on the end of that 1960s vase. That's the greatest cure any Englishman can ask for.
Yeah, I punch a book of poetry by Lord Byron, and that gets out my emotions.
Get into a small plane, and then you just go as high as you can, and you just go to sleep. And then as soon as you wake up, that'll suck you into reality.
Yeah.
That guy likes to do nosedives.
Yeah, piss on a portrait of John Glenn.
Now, this will be airing. Actually coming up pretty soon because of the time difference, but this will be airing. We're recording Monday. This interview will be airing in England on an IGTV tonight. What do you guys think? What will be the fallout from this? Will the royal family be able to deflect and do their normal shit, or will this be kind of a turning point where they're going to have to make some changes and deal with some shit?
Yeah, go ahead, Greg.
I don't think this is the killing stroke, but I couldn't imagine the monarchy could live much longer. 3 days ago, some guy tweeted at me, which I thought he didn't tweet at me. I just got mad. He tweeted that was like, I can't name one thing that America has that's better than the UK. And I wrote, I was like, your queen is like the head of the military, and the queen is divine. Like you still like. We are very lucky here. We have the separation of church and state. They don't have that. Their queen is it's a son of like it's divine shit, right? It's like how much longer can that really be allowed to happen?
Also, going on that, not kind of aside from your point, I've been there. Go ahead and forward that guy's tweet to me, because I'll list 600 things. Okay, their movie theater chairs are 3 inches wide. The McDonald's tastes like shit. It's fucking cold and rainy everywhere.
The Office.
They have no beaches. They're fucking. There's a million ways in which America is better than the UK, just as there's many ways in which the UK is better than America. Healthcare, that kind of shit. But
King Charles versus King James. All right, I pick LeBron any day over that skinny looking fucking Willow. Was it the headless horseman looking Ichabod Crane?
Ichabod Crane. He has an Ichabod Crane
clown
vibe for sure.
Yeah.
I think Greg's probably right, man. I think this is like, I think it's probably been heading in this direction, and this is just like a big catalyst into the, eventual collapse of this institution. It seems already out of place, and then this interview kind of crystallizes just how out of place it is.
Right.
Well, it's interesting because in terms of a collapse, it's like it's hard to see how it would happen. Like I think they will separate from the state more, but it's like they're so fucking rich. They have a jewel room, with the jewels that just go back thousands of years that are literally called the crown jewels, and they have just hundreds of millions of dollars worth of property, and it's like so. It's hard to kind of erase that.
I'll tell you what, though, man. Those crown jewels, they ain't safe from my man Moriarty.
No, sirree, Bob.
Who's Moriarty?
He's
Sherlock Holmes' nemesis.
Sherlock Holmes' nemesis.
Oh, y'all lame as hell. But let me say this, though. It doesn't matter. They don't need to be broke. They just need to be like not have any power at all anymore. It should just be like, oh, you're the king, like hilarious, but you still got to go to public school or private school. Like you're not getting this other shit.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Go ahead, let them do it, but you're off the official team. Go ahead, sure, you're the king. Great, good for you. Good, nice horse.
My king.
You talking about Charles again?
I can't wait for things to get so bad they start Airbnb being the palace. That's when you're gonna know like things are over for them.
I hope it turns into like have you ever read interviews from like Playboy bunnies when Hugh Hefner got old and they were just like, the fucking Playboy Mansion is disgusting. It's top of the line from 1971. There's dog piss everywhere. The TVs are broken projector. It's like it was the richest thing in 1971, and then he just started getting old and stopped fixing it. Like they had that party where everyone got a disease from the hot tub, like Legionnaire's disease. They got Legionnaire. That's what's going to happen to the palace. They're going to be like, man, that thing was fucking top of the line in 2021. Now it's a haven of ghosts.
That's so funny. Yeah, they'll be like, that was the armory. Now it's just full of cats.
Yeah. I do feel like, though, they're kind of just waiting for the queen to die. I just feel like they're kind of like, look, she's been around forever. We're not going to strip her of her power. But like, they're like, Charles, like, I'm going to be king, right? And they're like, you're not going to be king, bro. Yeah. Like, as soon as she goes, we're going to tap you on your back. You can stay in that place until you find something better, but this thing is over as soon as she goes.
Well,
I 130.
I feel like she's hanging on because she knows for the monarchy to survive, Charles has to die first. Because she's like, William, that guy could be a king. That guy could be the king. The country would like him. I gotta outlive Charles. That's it. Charles has gotta die because that thing's going down. As soon as that fucking Ichabod Crane with a head becomes king, the whole thing's fucked.
Yeah.
Go
ahead, Greg.
No, so he murdered Diana. That's really bad. But
yeah. No. The only thing I was gonna say was the only question that Oprah missed. That was all.
What?
Was I really do wish she closed the whole thing with like, all right, we've covered all this stuff, but we got to know the real question in everybody's mind. Are you coming back to Suits?
Yeah. Dude, what a hottie though, huh?
Man, beautiful.
It's crazy. And that's the thing, right? Like she was doing well, like money, beautiful. They inject her into this house. And then she's like, I'm going to kill myself. It's like, it does kind of show you that like, this is real. Like these people are fucked up, like the way they're living, the fact that they got the fuck out, I mean, I get not thinking like to what Brendan said before, where it's like, I'm sure she was like, oh, the dream is cool. That's all added really cool things. But it's not like, I'm sure that she was like in love with Harry and was like, oh, this will be great. And then not realizing how absolutely terrible it actually would be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, she's not going to meet him if he's just like a guy working at a pharmacy, but he's not. But that doesn't take away who he is as a person. You know what I mean? Like, she's in love with the person, even if the means to get to the person is that he was Prince. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really. I don't understand what that matters in the scheme of things.
I also don't get how like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Brendan.
No. Go ahead, please.
In England, I was watching they were very worried about communism taking over England for a while, which is like wild to me that they're like, we must protect from communism. And it's like, motherfucker, you got a king. Like you're worried about communism? Like you have something, you have a queen. Are you out of your mind?
Yeah.
That's crazy. What are you worried about? You have the worst version.
Yeah.
You know,
you have tax dollars going to a Duke.
yeah,
You're upset about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
that wraps up, I guess, the interview about the interview of the century, which makes this probably the interview of the millennium. I thought we had some great insights, and you heard it here first. The monarchy is on its way out, and I guess we're all team Harry and Meghan. You know, I think it comes down to that. I would say,
But above all, Team Oprah.
Not
above
me.
all, Team Oprah. Not great,
Get her.
but above all, Team Oprah. Get those calendars.
Unless you get her a saddle. If you get her a saddle,
Cut it off, Mike.
and I don't mean a horse saddle, I mean an
Bicycle.
elephant saddle.
Oh, come on, man. That's
Bicycle cut.
Anyway, be sure if you're not already, we're doing some really, really fun things. We've been having a blast. The patrons have been having a blast. It's just been super fun. There's a possibility. I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's a possibility of a hugely favorite Greg segment coming out on a Patreon tier. I'm not gonna give you any spoilers there, but go to patreon.com/Rad DudeCast and sign up at whatever tier you're comfortable with. The 15, obviously, you're gonna get the most stuff. You can follow us at the Rad DudeCast on all platforms, followable platforms. I don't really have anything coming up, but if you want merch, there's great merch. Go to teespring.com/stores/Rad DudeCast. And thank you all who have purchased.
Cool.
Oh,
Well,
we've got the Charles
let me talk about
Barkley
this.
Comedy Cookout. Yeah, Greg, break it down.
I didn't want to see. I was waiting for me to get mine in the mail before we said it on the website. But yeah, if you're a guy in comedy and your career is not going well, and you don't got the credits you deserve, now is the time to act. You can own the Charles Barkley Comedy Cookout hoodie with on the front embroidered executive producer. Now everyone has a comedy credit.
Man, all right,
You
I
beat
gotta
me,
get this. This is so
and
funny.
you gotta get it before Charles Barkley sues us. And then we will turn the shirts into "We've been sued by Charles Barkley."
Fun. This is the funniest thing you've ever done. I gotta say this. This is
any podcast
yes.
has ever had.
Also, too, if you're not in comedy, you just want to feel important or impress someone at an airport or on a date.
Yes.
This is for you. This is fantastic.
It works on so many levels.
Yes. Wear it on a first date, and you can honestly play the lie through, because even if she goes, that's not a real show, you go, it was too good. It never made it to air. I executive produced the pilot. Charles was hilarious. We had some of the greatest comedians.
There were conflicts.
And there were conflicts. You know what? TNT wasn't happy. They said he wasn't allowed.
TV went under.
Yeah.
Star power was too much for them.
Yeah. But check that out again at teespring.com/stores/Rad DudeCast. I got no plugs. You guys got plugs you want to do?
No, I do not think so. Thanks so much for listening. And if you're not already, check out the Patreon, man. There's some great stuff happening over there. That's all. Thanks for listening.
Greg, plugs? Oh, we got some names.
No.
Greg, you got
that
any plugs?
just seems so good. That just seems so good that I let it fly.
Okay.
The bird was flying.
Yeah, for sure, man. The bird was in the air.
Bird was taking off. Hey, big time 25 buckaroos per month. Danny Norwood, or as he's known amongst his friends, Danny Norwood, nor rain, nor snow. I'll deliver your fucking mail right up your ass.
You're up, Greg.
Oh, the next man on the list. He's been sick for years and he keeps beating it. He's Nick Kaufroth. Nick Kaufroth. He's had a cough for 1 million years. No address listed, so I can't give that out.
This next guy, $15 a month. We've got Eric Santana. Ooh, this is a man on the run, because everybody knows the guy who kills Carlos Santana gets to take his name. So Eric Santana is the man who murdered Carlos.
$15 per month is Ian B. He's abbreviated his name because, as we all know, it is Ian B., a member of the royal family in disguise. Probably Philip.
Man, the next guy on my list, he's got his own list. It's Adam Schindler. We call him. He's the great Mick. He's the son of shit. See, that's the thing. After Schindler made his list in World War II, people don't talk about his great grandson Adam, who instead of helping the Jews, he just helped 3 Rad Dude members. Thanks, Adam.
Next we got up is Matt Brook. He's a $15 a month subscriber. Matt owns a lovely little store in town called Brooks Argyle's, which has gone completely under during the pandemic.
Also, Matt Brook made our code for that thing.
Oh, thank you, Code Man.
Thanks,
$15 per month. We've got Bustin Timberlake, and he is an ATF agent, and he finally took that fucking Justin Timberlake down once and for all. The guy had too many guns, so he busted him. Thank you.
Oh, our next guy, we like to call him the Canadian Crippler because, well, I just call him that. But here's the thing about him. I'm not going to give him a fun story. Check out Ben Wyatt's wrestling. This guy's a wrestler. He's got great things. He's a wrestler in Australia. Instead of giving him a name, which we could do, I am going to give him a promo. Type in Ben Wyatt and wrestling and see if he watches clips. He's in the Rad Dude After Dark. This guy's the best. He's going to be huge in wrestling.
Next up, we got $25 per month, a quarantine helper. This is 19 Drunk 19, and this is a sentient bot that's come to life who's a fan of the Rad DudeCast.
Thank you so much for your $15 a month patronage, Corey Schittler.
Shadila.
Yeah, I like to call him Corey Shit, as his friends call him. Old Corey Schittler.
Well, yeah, it's one of the Coreys, one of the great Coreys. I believe that's Corey. That's Rad. He does the Rad Dude Caps.
Nice. Well, thank you.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, shit.
Derb, we got coming in with a nice 10 bananas. I think it's our only 10. Oh no, they're not in order. I see. A nice $10, and we love it. And I love Derb because it's what I would name my kid if I was 100% sure they were retarded. I would say the doctor comes in, says your kid's retarded. I go, well, call him Derb and get him out of here. Because that is Derb. Derb.
Get him out of here.
Next up is Neil Marshall is a $15 a month subscriber. This guy went to so many Blue Lives Matter rallies that his feet hurt.
Thank you so much for your $15 patronage, Brennan Vogel. I normally don't care for anyone having a name too close to mine, but you know what, Vogel? You're all right in my book, fella. So I give you a nickname. It's the Vogel Eagle.
I'd also just make like a quick annotation to my last one when I said that the Derb would be. I'm pretty sure that Derb wasn't their real name. If it was your real name, not a retarded name, beautiful name, very fun. So I'll call you Derby McDerby, Derby the Kirby. You could Derby McDerby, Derby the Kirby is your nickname, just to redo what I did there. But then move on to old regular Ben. Ben, you didn't put your last name, but you're a cat emoji, so I'll call you 55-3. Ben, he's winning. 55. That's your new nickname. 55-3, because you're winning.
Now we've got Ninnam, who's a $10 a month subscriber. A little info about Ninnam's parents. His biological father is actually Bono, and he's the love child of Bono and an Irish city council woman that he knocked up back when he lived in there.
And of course, we got at $15 per month, Daniel McClellan, the Scottish fuck train. All aboard.
Oh, me? Well, Seth, just regular Seth. In my imagination, you're a photographer for a sloth magazine, and you take pictures of other sloths, and you're the fanciest one in the neighborhood. So thanks, Seth, for your great hot shots of other sloths.
Next up, we got RC coming in at $15 a month. Now, RC likes to tell everyone who asks his initials stand for real cool because he's embarrassed of his rich heritage as being the son of soda mogul RC Cola.
$15 a month. We got Dylan Holmes, as I like to call him, Sherlock Holmes. The guy can solve any crime you put in front of his face. He chooses not to. Might be a woman though, because I just googled Dylan Holmes because I thought I mixed your name up with Dylan Roof, and I was going to say maybe I shouldn't give this guy a nickname if Dylan Roof is in the Patreon, but and then it came up as a woman from Australia is Dylan Holmes. So if that is you, I apologize for calling you a he. Either way, go on your business.
Heads up, Dylan Holmes. They sent us the first Rad DudeCast shirts.
Never mind. I do know Dylan Holmes. I've met you. Your new nickname is Guy Who's Met Brendan.
This next one I like to call Quick Draw Fancy Pants, because how fast are they that they heard that we were reading names and they said, well, get me back to the Patreon. I got to change my name to Come Terrarium. Okay. So your new name is Quick Draw McGraw. You're a quick action person because you heard that we were doing names out loud and you said, get me to Come Terrarium, which is just like a lizard cage full of semen. I love it.
Oh, man. Next up at $15 a month, we got Matt Gwynn. And now Matt is a timid guy, but he's also quite charming at the same time. When he was in high school, he came up with a bunch of AOL screen names for himself, one being Matt for the Gwyn at AOL.com. But the poor fellow was too shy to ever use it.
Thank you so much for your patronage, Christopher Hoffman. And if you're not going by Christopher Seymour Hoffman, you're a fucking idiot.
Here's me. Let me read this. Let me get a good one on here. Oh, Christopher Mishler. You remember that? Well, there's just a tale about this one, and it was when he threw a rock at an old woman, and they said, "Did you get her?" And he said, "Nah, I Mishler with the rock."
Next up, we got Brandon Query coming in at $15 a month, and Brandon Query is actually his stage name. His real name is Brandon. I have a question.
I was prepping for that one because I read the list wrong and I had a very similar question thing, and then I got a name that wasn't the one that I was expecting, and I had to. Well, it was Mishler, so it was pretty easy,
$15 per month, fella. Just down as James, but you know what? I don't like you hiding behind a mask. I'm going to go ahead and call you by your real first name. Thank you so much, LeBron.
Oh, and another $15 a month, or we have the originator of coffee. We call her Mr. Joe because it's Javla. That's what I call coffee that's too hot. What is this? Can I get a Java to go? They go, no way, man. That thing's burning. That's a Javla. Too hot. That's too hot coffee, Javla. Your name is too hot coffee.
Next up, we got $25 a month. This is Bill Tressler, quarantine helper, parentheses, Billy Bats. And they call him Billy Bats because as a kid, he refused to sleep upright.
Of course, we got the big fella, Jake Abercrombie. Jake Abercrombie. What's that? What's that store? Abercrombie and Fitch. I know you want me to go to the Fitch direction, but I won't, Jake. Your nickname is Jake Abercrombie your damn hair, because that thing's all over the place. Like a comb. It's a stretch. So your nickname's Stretch.
This next name, they're going to expect Greg Albrecht. You're great, Greg Albrecht. Now, there's a lot of ways to go, but really there's only one way to go. As a member of the Gregs, you are a G-man. That's just how it is. There is no other nicknames you can have. You're just a G-man and one of the Regulators.
So then it brings us to Andrew Cook at $15 a month. And that is his name, but little thing people don't know about Andrew, he's actually a flyweight boxing champion known as Andrew, don't call me the Chef Cook.
A $15 a month fella. Sean Doyle goes by Sean O'Doyle Rules.
Oh, this next one, we've spoken before, I believe. I'm 99% sure, but Chris Leparati. I would like to just bring in a quick tale of my science teacher who was AP Science I had for 3 days because he pulled me, Mr. Leparati, and he said to me, "Do you think you should be in this class?" And I said, "Are you calling me stupid?" And he said, "Well, I'm not calling you smart." And I signed out.
Fuck him.
Yeah. Can I say another thing about Mr. Leparati? Mr. Leparati, this guy had all kinds of folksy wisdom. He thought he was so clever because of it. And he once said, you can talk to yourself, but when you answer yourself, that's a problem. Spoke this to a kid who would have full-on conversations with himself all the time. This is coming from the man who every day chose to wear a polka dot tie and call himself an adult. That absolute fraud. Anyway,
schmuck. Yeah, that's why I'm calling Chris Leparati the better Leparati. I didn't give him the name.
Is.
But yeah, Miss Leparati was a piece of fucking.
Next
dick.
up, we got Jordan Cooper, $25 a month, quarantine helper. He is actually the illegitimate son of Mr. Cooper from the show Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Wait a minute. Is quarantine helper a specific? You guys keep saying that.
Yes,
I don't know what that is.
That's the tier I made when I originally made the tiers. $25. There wasn't a lot extra there, so I just said quarantine helper. You're just doing us a solid by bumping up $10.
You guys seem to be on that. That was pretty good.
The Rad DudeCast is hosted by Anthony DeVito, Brendan Eyre, and Greg Stone. Original music by Brian Zippert. Produced by Mike Suarez. Executive producers Brendan Eyre, Greg Stone, and Anthony DeVito. Executive producers Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly for the Laugh Button Podcasts.